So somebody want to explain to me why the showing counts are down so much on really nice listings. This is your host, Ron Wysokarski for the Black Hole of Real Estate. And I am looking at a number of great looking properties that are barely getting showings. And some of that's within our current inventory, but I'm also touring properties, because we help people buy and sell properties. And quite honestly, many of the nice homes I'm going to right now, I'm like the only one showing them. And it's a little bit crazy right now because when you have a nice property at a nice price and the weather is decent, and we're at a time where it's not the holidays, you would think that there would be some competing interests against you when you're trying to look at property. So it may be an opportunity if you're a home buyer right now. It's a fact that sellers' homes are lingering on the market far longer than they would like and far longer than we have become accustomed to over the past few years. And when we examine this, what we're finding is some sellers honestly are a little impatient right now, and I don't blame them because some have been on the market for 2, 3, 4, 5 months, even 6 months. And you would think during that time with some price adjustments and a lot of marketing that a buyer would be attracted to that property and purchase it. And yet it's not happening for a lot of people. Now, that doesn't mean that the market is dead and that properties aren't selling. It just means there's a surprising number of properties that aren't getting showings right now. So I want to break down a few of the things that I believe might be contributing to that. First thing, aliens. Okay, so not aliens, but maybe it's aliens or something alien to us or foreign to us. You see, right now we're not over the holidays, so we don't have that excuse. We don't have to wait till after the first of the year because it's after the first of the year. And we're not quite at the school break yet, but maybe some people are doing their taxes right now. Now that might be a thing to latch onto because, taxes. Does anybody not get a headache when you're doing your taxes? We're getting all these forms and all these things. And so maybe taxes are slowing people down because you got to fill those out. Now, if you get a refund, that's great, but who's paying this year? I think a lot of people might actually, if they had a good sales year and their 1099 income, they might have some money to pay in this year that maybe they weren't expecting unless they had some really nice tax strategy against that extra income that was, not W-2 income, but 1099. So maybe taxes. Taxes might be a reason. I don't think that holidays like President's Day are the sort of thing that stop people from making a home purchase. Now, in our area, the Daytona 500 is a big event. Everybody's like, wow, place is going to be loaded with people. Everybody's going to be looking like, oh no, they're coming here for the race. And it's crowded and there's traffic. It's really hard to actually navigate and get around. So maybe the Daytona 500 is what's slowing it down in this area. And maybe you've got a big race or a Super Bowl or a hockey game or a baseball game or spring training or some sporting event that might be slowing things down. I don't think it's everybody watching the Olympics right now, but we can tell ourselves it's the Olympic coverage that's making everybody not look at property. I don't think that's what it is. Interest rates, it's a piece of the puzzle. I mean, they're in the 6 range right now, so it's not 7 or 7.5 like it's been. But, the Fed did keep rates the same a few weeks back. And I think some people were hoping that rates would go down just a little bit more. And now we know, we talked about this one, it's going to be the end of March before the next Fed meeting. So there's a real good possibility that this is where rates are going to hover for the next couple of months. And while I don't believe it's enough to stop a market in its tracks, there is some hope out there that we're getting closer to when the new Fed chair comes in. That'll be in May. There's 2 more meetings between now and then. Maybe we get one reduction between now and then, and inflation appears to be in check right now. So it's looking a little bit better for the rate drop at the end of March. But what do we do in the meantime? Are all these homes going to linger and wait until the end of March or sometime in May? I don't know that. But maybe we're latching on a couple of things. So taxes, tax preparation, it gives everybody a headache. The post-holiday thing where people, maybe they spent a little too much or not enough, or maybe they paid it off, but maybe holiday spending is impacting this just a little bit. Yeah, I'm stuck on the money side of things over here. Interest and taxes is probably what this is going to be because properties are lingering on the market. And if you're listening to this and you were looking at properties and now you're not looking at properties and then you're looking at properties and you're pausing again, inventory, even though there's more of it, it's still a question. It's like, when's the perfect house going to come along? And I think that these sales tools we have are contributing to this. So I'm going to give you a third thing right now. So far we got taxes and interest rates. How about the availability of information? You see, we can see online right now amazing photos and videos, and through syndication, there are very few secrets out there. Unless your agent takes crappy photos or doesn't invest in those things, there's a lot of really good information out there. And I think people are actually viewing the homes online as if they're in person and booking less showings because they can confirm for themselves whether they want to see it or not want to see it with all the information online. I think that is absolutely contributing to lower showing counts. And I think now we're getting to the point where, okay, so marketing is becoming more and more important, and the way that it's presented online. Are we using the old cell phone photos from the car where you can see the window there? Maybe that's affecting buyers' ability to want to see the property, because if the photos are lousy and they hired an agent that has a terrible marketing strategy, then they're probably not getting showings. And even if they have great photos and great videos, it could be the layout of the proximity or views of the beach or views of the parking lot or street, or maybe you back up the telephone poles or high tension lines. I mean, there's a lot to be seen because you can go on tools like Google Earth and you see just about everything. So there's a lot of information out there that's contributing to it. So I'm going to stack it and rack it as this. Interest rates, they're about the same, but people might be waiting for a lower rate. I think there's a lag after the holiday where everybody is just a little bit tired and waiting to see where the market goes next. Maybe we're on something over there. Maybe there's some price reductions coming around the bend over here. And by the way, if things are kind of slow right now, everybody's hanging on for a deal, maybe there's some waiting for that too. All right, you have a lot of information right now to deal with, and maybe you're hesitating for some of the same reasons, whether it's interest rates or taxes, or maybe you could just see everything online and don't feel you need to go see the property until the perfect one comes along. Or it could be that buyers are just really, really particular right now. I'll use the word fussy about what they want. And we seem to want everything on our checklist for a price below the market rate, because I would too. On the other side of this, I do want to let you know that as far as the flippers, that's really slowed down. But the investor game, where they're buying and renovating and renting them out, refinancing them and buying more of those properties, that seems to be a market. So if you're on the investor side where you're going to keep the property, this might be the golden era for you of opportunity before things pick up and prices again inch upward. All right, that's a lot to handle right now, but I think we've kind of nailed down the reasons why listings are not getting anywhere near the showings that we thought they might, and it's affecting the way that these sellers are able to move on to their next home. If you got questions about this or really intrigued by this, drop me some comments below, give us a call, drop us a line. Definitely hit the subscribe button. This is Ron Wojciechowski for the Black Hole of Real Estate.